Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making chicken spaghetti, blue salad with sweet and spicy pecans, honey mustard bread, and triple espresso brownies. So I chose this dish because on cold winter nights and everything, and there's church potlucks and things like that going on. So and it's a fairly easy thing to do, although it seems like it has a lot going on. But I boiled a pound of spaghetti, and I greased a 9x13 pan and put it in. I browned a pound of bacon, and I've got 2 tablespoons of the bacon grease that I've strained all the cruddy stuff off, and I have 2 large onions thinly sliced, and we're going to brown that or just kind of roughly cook them in the bacon grease for about 5 minutes. So while we get that going, we'll sneak over here and get the bread started. Once again, I'm using a bread machine recipe. I hope that you're able to use some of these, and if you don't have a bread machine, Christmas is a good time to ask for it. I hope you did last Christmas, but anyway, we start out with 2 cups of bread flour, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 3/4 cup of water, a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, 2 teaspoons of minced onion. If you in summertime and you have chives in your garden, you can use chives instead. It's just something that gives you that oniony flavor. 2.5 tablespoons of a gourmet mustard. I'm using Dijon. A tablespoon of dry milk. A teaspoon of salt. A 1/4 cup of honey. We're going to do that trick, and we're going to spray this so that it comes out easier. It was pretty good. Just a little bit left in there. And for yeast, you can use either the fast rise or the active dry. I'm using active dry. With active dry, it's 3 teaspoons, and with the fast rise, it's 2. So I'm going to go pop this on the bread machine. We'll take a quick break, and we'll get back to the onions. Be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg, 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, we're going to keep working on the spaghetti now. The onions are just starting to get tender. You don't want them to get brown. So we're going to throw in, this is a 1/2 pound of mushrooms that I've washed and sliced. kind of break them apart a little bit. This is the bacon that I've already fried crisp, and toss that in. This casserole has tons of flavor. By the time you put the chicken and the bacon, and then what gives it the salt is a cup of stuffed olives, the green olives. Toss those in. Because it's January and I don't like pink tomatoes that you get in the grocery store, calls for 2 pounds of tomatoes, so I'm using 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes, and I'm just going to dump it in with, if there's any juice in there, that's good too, because it kind of soaks down into the spaghetti. So use 2 cans. And a can of tomato sauce. Then this just needs to simmer about 5 minutes, just so it heats through. And then we'll add it to the dish. This will feed a lot of people, so if you have family coming over, or like I said, a church potluck or something, a pound of spaghetti goes a long ways. And then this is a whole chicken that I have stewed with onions and celery and salt and pepper. And then I've cut it into kind of cubes, kind of chunks. We're going to spread it over the spaghetti. And let that simmer a few minutes. We'll go over to the salad. Now remember, if you want a copy of any of these recipes, if you have internet, you just go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net, and you'll find the Country Cooking Cow on the right hand side. You click on that, all the recipes are there. If you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a recipe. So we're going to talk about salad. This is about 12 ounces or so of romaine lettuce. You can use whatever greens you want. You can even use spinach. And this, like an earlier show that I had done, has some spicy pecans. This is a different recipe, and it has to be made a day in advance. So I did that, but I'm going to tell you how it's done. It's a cup of pecan halves. You take a 1/4 cup of sugar, white sugar, and a cup of water, and you dissolve it's kind of warm water, dissolve the sugar in the water, and then you put your pecans in there, stir them up, and let them sit for about 10 minutes. Then you drain them, and you combine 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and an 1/8 teaspoon of ground red pepper, like red chili pepper. And then you stir those together, fold it into the pecans, and then you bake them for about 10 minutes in a 350-degree oven. You can stir them like after the first 5 minutes. When they're done, you let them cool, and then you put them in the refrigerator, and they're ready to use. So, you know me in color. This salad, you can use whatever fruit is in season, if it's strawberry season or whatever. Because it's January, and pears, you can always find pears. I sliced up a pear. So we're just going to kind of sprinkle that all over. And then when I was in the grocery store shopping for my groceries for this show, I saw nice raspberries, and I thought, you know me, I'm all about color. So I thought that'd be kind of pretty to kind of give it a little bit of a color. And then we'll sprinkle the pecans over the top. You have to hide these from the guys because they'll snack on them.
Get 3 months free access on all lines plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. Two great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
We're going to pour this over the top. Has lots of nice color with the tomatoes and the green olives and the mushrooms. Now this pan is a little bigger than the normal 9x13 pan. It's I don't know. I guess you would say maybe it's probably about a 10x15. So then you take 3 cups of cheddar cheese and you sprinkle it over the top. This also can be made in advance and put in the refrigerator and then baked when you want to, or just before you are going to be using it. Okay, it goes in the oven at 350 for an hour. We'll get started on the dressing and then we'll start working on the bars. I'm going to use the blender again so that it all stays together a little bit better. We have a half cup of balsamic vinegar. If you have like a fig vinegar or something like that, you can use that. Three tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Lots of mustard in this today. Okay. 3 tablespoons of honey. Should have sprayed it, I guess. Like a lot of the recipes that I find, it calls for shallots, and a substitute for shallots, they're actually kind of a small onion, but they have a similar flavor to a red onion. So I have about a half of a red onion that I've thinly sliced. We're going to toss that in. We need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Two garlic cloves. pre-minced garlic that you can buy in the jar in the produce department, or if you don't have that either, you can use garlic powder. I think your jar should tell you, I think it's about an eighth of a teaspoon for a clove of garlic. Okay, I'm going to kind of blend this up. We're going to slowly add a cup of olive oil.
Fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
I took the bread out of the bread machine and I've rolled it into a French bread loaf. I like that because it's easy to serve, it's easy to slice. So I have greased the pan. I'm going to cover it with saran wrap and then a towel, and we'll set that aside. Then back to the dressing. We'll add that oil very slowly so it doesn't separate. I just turn it on stir. Kick it up a little bit and let it really mix. I'm going to get it in the refrigerator so it starts to chill. Now that's something that you could do in advance and save yourself some time. So I want to get the brownies getting going. So in a small bowl I have a 1/4 cup of butter, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of instant coffee, a teaspoon of vanilla, an egg, 1/4 cup of oil, 1/2 cup of water, and then I have a brownie mix. You can, a fudge brownie mix. I'm using a Pillsbury. This recipe comes from the Pillsbury Bake Off cookbook, and I use that a lot. This is one of my favorite recipes that I use. Especially for coffee lovers, it has coffee in several of the layers. So then we want to beat this by hand, 50 strokes. I always kind of get it mixed in together first so that you don't have things flying. Go. I have a 9x13 pan. You can use a metal pan or a glass pan, whichever you prefer. And I have greased the bottom only of this pan. And then it's going to go in the oven and bake for 30 minutes. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a quick break, get this cleaned up, and we'll start working on the second layer in the glaze. We'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Ask us about the brand new Choice TV package. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
Okay, we're going to work on the second layer, which is the filling of the brownies. The recipe called for either dark chocolate, 3 4-ounce bars, or like a bittersweet chocolate. My store did not have them when I was shopping, but they did have dark chocolate chips, so I bought a bag. That's 12 ounces. Gonna put those in here, and you're supposed to coarsely chop the chocolate. Well, when it's already in chips, we don't have that. Kind of as a step saver. A cup of coarsely chopped walnuts. Just gonna kind of stir those together like that, and then I have a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm gonna add an egg, a 1/2 cup of firmly packed brown sugar, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of coffee granules, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using pure vanilla. You can use imitation vanilla. It depends on what you have, what you prefer. Okay, now we'll combine this mixture with this. As soon as the brownies come out, then we're going to spread this on. And it's a little bit difficult to spread because it's not creamy, so you got to almost dollop it, and you have to be careful so you don't tear the brownies as you're spreading it. Now, we also are going to be making a glaze. It takes a tablespoon of butter, and to that we're going to add a 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'll let that butter kind of coat the bottom here. Takes about 1 to 2 teaspoons of milk or cream. I'm going to use cream, and I'm going to start with 1. We'll see how that looks. And then an 1/8 teaspoon of the instant coffee granules again. We'll let that start to melt. We'll take a quick break while we wait for that first brownie level to come out. But I want to remind you real quick before we take a break that if you want a copy of any of these recipes, if you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'd be happy to help you with a copy. If you do have internet, you go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytal.net, and you'll see the country cooking cow on the side. You can click on that. You'll find all the recipes. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
We're going to take the brownies out and get those going. This is where we kind of dollop our mixture. Takes just a little bit of patience because you can't just spread it. You kind of have to work with it a little bit. Back on. Okay, we're going to bake it for an additional about 15 to 17 minutes. So we're just about ready. It's just kind of wait. Then we'll put the glaze on it and we should be ready to go. Be right back. We've got everything out. I'm going to drizzle the glaze on the brownies. They smell good. If you like chocolate and you like coffee, you're going to like these. Okay, now just before you serve the salad, you're going to sprinkle on the blue cheese. It calls for 2 to 4 ounces, so I'm going to use the whole 4 ounces. Everything's better with cheese. Now, as usual, if you don't think that you'll use the entire salad in one sitting, you're best not to toss it. So you'll want to just serve that on the side and let people help themselves. So we're gonna dish the salad. Dressing on. Slice some bread. And then you just scoop out. You can cut squares if you want. Sometimes it's easier just to do a scoop. That. Brownies normally you're going to want to cool, but when we're filming, we don't have that luxury of time. There we go. We have your chicken spaghetti, your blue salad with sweet and spicy pecans, your honey mustard bread, and the triple espresso brownies. Thanks for joining us today on this edition of Country Cooking. We hope to see you next time.